Hello, Curious, and welcome back. Alright, fess up, how many of you had at one point while watching The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, or their other spin-off shows that one day that you would like to participate in it to find your true love? And while the shows had resulted in many hookups, relationships, and even engagements since 2002, when The Bachelor first aired, most of them didn't last very long once the cameras had stopped rolling. But that doesn't mean that there haven't been many success stories, whether they hit off from the very beginning or found each other later on. There are some pairs who have even managed to turn their reality TV into real love. So who were those couples and how has their magical love played out? But while some had managed to find happiness and their other half on the show, others have had much more difficult times after it, and one of those people right now is most certainly Colton Underwood. And why has he come under fire? What problems did he have with his chosen lady on the show, Casse Randolph? And why was this coming out of fear rather than him making the decision? And could all of this have a negative impact on the Bachelor franchise? Stay with us until the very end to find out all the latest information about the situation, but before we continue, don't forget to turn on the notifications and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our future videos. Settling down with a nice drink and some snacks for the latest episode of The Bachelor is a guilty pleasure that many of you have. But maybe it shouldn't be a guilty one. After all, there are plenty of A-list celebrities that, just like you and us, tune into the show, from Kaylee Cuoco to Kris Jenner to Jennifer Aniston and Kate Hudson, and these A-listers are just obsessed with this series as average viewers. During the finale of the 24th season, Kim Kardashian had even thrown a viewing party whose guests included her sister Kendall and Hailey Bieber, and these ladies were all ready to see the action when it came to watching Peter Weber choose between Hannah Ann Sluice and Madison Pruitt as the drama unfolded. Kim had decided to get the inside scoop from her friend Chris Harrison, the host of the show, an image of which she shared on her Instagram stories at the time. And if you want to know what other show Kim is obsessed with, you can do so by clicking on the link above. But for now, make sure you stay with us to find out the latest gossip. While for the most part it might seem like after leaving the bubble of the Bachelor Mansion behind and re-entering the real world, a majority of the franchise's couples can't seem to keep the magic alive. But there are some that prove that it is possible to find real love on the program, and we're about to give you a few examples of this. When talking about one of the couples that had made it work, we have to start with the franchise's OG success story, and that is the first ever Bachelorette, Trista Wren and Ryan Sutter, the firefighter she got engaged to at the end of her season, and the two later married in a televised ceremony in 2003, and 18 years later, with 2 children, have truly deserved the title of the OG success story. Oh, and they both stated that if they can help it, their children Max and Blakesley will never see their season of the show. Another couple that is a success story had viewers shocked at first when in the 17th season of The Bachelor, Sean Lowe had picked Catherine Giudice over Lindsay Yenter. However, at the time, rumors had it that he asked for Yenter's hand in marriage prior to the episode airing, and everyone, including Lindsay herself, were certain that that would be the case. But as you can see, it wasn't the case, but he and Giudice had proven that their love was not meant to last, and they tied the knot in the franchise's first ever live TV wedding back in 2014 and have 2 sons, Samuel and Isaiah, and a daughter Mia. So as you can see, it is possible for true love to bloom. But who was your favorite Bachelor success story? And while some have made it work, for others their appearance on the show was the complete opposite. And one of those people most certainly is Colton Underwood. The 29-year-old former professional football player appeared on the 23rd season for The Bachelor, where back in 2019 he ended up choosing Casse Randolph over Hannah Godwin and Tayshia Adams. Though as it later turned out, this might have not been the beginning of the problems from the former athlete. While there was no engagement at the end of the season, the two had dated for a while but split in May of last year. However, towards the end of 2020, reports had come out that showed that the split got much nastier after Casse had filed a restraining order against the reality star. And according to legal documents that TMZ had obtained at the time, it was revealed that Randolph claimed that Colton had stalked and harassed her with unsettling text messages, and that he went as far as planting a tracking device that was taped to her car. Another thing that Cassie had claimed was that he would show up uninvited at her apartment in LA and her parents' house in Huntington Beach, where he would loiter in an alleyway for at least up until 2 a.m. All of this has led to her filing for a restraining order against Underwood, and a temporary restraining order was granted. Her lawyer had later told TMZ reporters that initially they wanted to try and work through this process privately in a manner that gives both her and Colton safety, security, and respect. So in October of last year, the temporary restraining order against Colton was extended until she decided to drop it the following month. So as you can imagine, this caused the fans of the Bachelor franchise who had been following the news closely to be very confused, and even more so when Underwood released a statement to People magazine and said that they were unable to reach a private agreement. And talking to the publication, he said, "I do not believe Cassie did anything wrong in filing for the restraining orders, and also believe that she acted in good faith." And if fans thought that that was shocking, well, they had another thing coming, as a month ago the former football player had come out as gay during a pre-taped interview for Good Morning America, and obviously some were confused, with many asking if he was gay, why did he make an appearance on a show which aimed to find a bachelor for a wife? So it seems that this is something that Colton had struggled with for a long time, and as he told Robin Roberts, he ran from himself for a very long time. And speaking candidly with the host, he said, "I have hated myself for a long time. I came to terms with this earlier this year and have been processing it. And the next step in all of this was to sort of letting people know. I'm still nervous. It's been a journey for sure." And while many had praised him for his bravery in coming out, it wasn't met with that much enthusiasm. His coming out after he had entered into the millions of viewers' homes as this poster boy of a fairy tale romance, a Ken doll-like star of a major dating franchise, well, it had touched a nerve. As a man that many had linked to the dating reality TV show, sports, and faith, he had suddenly found himself surrounded by controversy, especially since his coming out had coincided with a Netflix reality show about his new life that he's filming right now. Though even prior to him coming out, there was controversy surrounding the show, as many had called for the streaming platform to drop it in light of Cassie's accusations. Though many had accused Underwood of monetizing his coming out story and pointed out that as a hunky white gay man, he was benefiting from the privilege, taking a platform that other members of the queer community deserved more than he did. But they had all raised an important question: was his entire season of The Bachelor an act for fame? But seeing as he has now come out, and since the show had branded him as the Virgin Bachelor, many questions had come about his past intimate experiences. He told Variety that he has experimented with men in the past and had a Grindr account before his time on The Bachelorette, but has only had hookups. However, he did go on to add that when I say hookups, not sex, I want to make that very clear that I do not have sex with a man prior to that. So he also added that he is currently single and no longer has a Grindr account. In a recent interview with Variety, he has opened up more about the situation with Cassie, though he added that he wanted to be more vague with that, as he said that due to an agreement they had already reached. And speaking with the publication, he said, "I do not physically touch or physically abuse Cassie in any way, shape, or form. I never want people to think I'm coming out to change the narrative, or to brush over and not to take responsibility for my actions. And now that I have this gay life, and that I don't have to address my past as a straight man, controlling situations to try to grasp at any part, or the straight fantasy that I am trying to live out, was so wrong." And while he appeared on a GMA last month, he also publicly apologized not only to Randolph, but the other contestants by saying, "I would like to say sorry for how things ended. I messed up. I made a lot of bad choices." Though the interview with Variety had also shed a light on the fact that his coming out wasn't out of choice but out of fear. He revealed that his decision to come out when he did was due to a blackmail attempt, and it all happened after he visited a gay spa in Los Angeles just to look around. Afterwards, he received an email from someone claiming to have nude photos of him at the establishment, which he said he should have never went to in the first place. And he told Variety that he never saw the photos in questions, but the sender threatened to out him. And after a conversation with his publicist, the decision was made to come out on his own terms. Though now many are wondering if all this could have a negative impact on the Bachelor franchise, and the series still generates major revenue for ABC and is their top-rated unscripted series, which attracts on average more than 5 million viewers. And while a 30-minute spot on The Bachelor still fetches an average of $154,886 according to Ad Age, the show has come under fire for a lack of diversity. The fact that they had only recently cast their first black bachelor, Matt James, has not done much to quiet the criticism, and the show pledges to be more inclusive, but many claim that Colt's story only highlights the lack of diversity within the franchise's depiction of love, with the exception of one queer female couple on Bachelor in Paradise, and the franchise's first only same-sex pairing. The show exists in a world populated solely by straight people, and that also makes Colt their first gay bachelor. And this comes not long after the Hollywood Foreign Press Association has come under fire for the lack of diversity, which led to NBC refusing to broadcast the Golden Globes next year, which you can learn more about by clicking on the link above. So curious, what do you think of Underwood's story? Do you think this will help to get more diversity in the show, or could it be its end? Are you a fan of Colt? Were you shocked by his coming out? And what do you think about Cassie's accusations? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our future videos. Until next time.